My name is Reagan Adams. I was born in South Carolina. My birthday is August of 1815. I was born into slavery. I'm the oldest of my 4 brothers and sisters. I never got to see them grow up because we were all sold to different masters. We were separated from my mom and dad. Living away from my mom and dad was hard, but I managed. I was married to a woman that was a slave from a different plantation. I never saw her. I thought about my family while I was working to distract myself. My master made me work long hours in the field. The day started when the sun rose. From the beginning of the day to the end of the day, we stayed working in the fields, with little to no breaks. When we didn't follow my master's rules exactly, we were beaten. I remember one time one of the other field workers stopped to take a break because the day was so hot, and my master got angry and beat him. If we did not pick enough cotton for the day, my master got mad with us, sometimes even tried to hurt us. In my time as a slave, I was sold. I was sold so many times to many different masters. Most of the masters I was sold to were mean. When I was sold, I was hopeful that I'd be sold to a master that had my family. But I never was. One time, after I was sold to a new master, the other workers there already planned an escape. I wanted to escape with them, but my new master caught them trying to escape, and that was the last time I saw them. So I never tried to escape again. I never thought about escaping. If I ever wanted to see my family again, I couldn't try to escape, or else I would be gone too.
I was about 13 or 14 years old based upon me being owned by my master for about 8 years and having been taken in around the age of 6. I don't truly know my age because my personal history was not important to my masters and therefore not to me. I was asked to pull fodder or gather leftover cornmeal for the livestock. Since I knew that if I didn't complete my job, I would be flogged, I left it out in the rain. This was my first attempt at escaping because I didn't want to suffer the consequences. I attempted countless other times to escape my cruel masters, but was caught by nearby slaveholders. I was put in jail for trying to escape in Lancaster, South Carolina. My jail time was recorded on papers when I moved to the next master. My new master would then put me in chains since he knew that I tried to escape previously, and would also whip me. Even though I knew the consequences of getting caught by someone, I was determined to gain my freedom. My master thought that I wouldn't be able to escape by crossing the river because I was so weak and suffered so many beatings. When I was able to get out of my chains, I attempted another escape. I was able to cross the river because I had made a small boat tied to a tree, but was in prison again. I felt that I should be treated better, but I also felt that I needed to prove my master wrong. My successful escape from my master started when he was passed out drunk for a couple of days on his plantation. That's when I knew I had to run away from my poor living conditions. I packed a few clothes and begged people along the way for food and water. Crossing rivers was one of the hardest obstacles I had to face because I had fears of drowning and being eaten by alligators. I also had to get a passport to be able to travel to the north. With the help of many people along the way, my journey was done when I reached Albany, New York, but even then I had to be cautious about settling. In the end, I traveled hundreds of miles to escape the evils of slavery, and it was very hard to succeed.
My name is Elizabeth Stone. I am now 65, but was a slave up until the age of 17, when we were set free. I worked on a huge plantation in Georgia. I never knew my father, and my mother lived with me until she was sold to another plantation miles away. I only have one sibling, my older sister Amelia. We have been through everything together. Even today, she is still my greatest friend. I remember the day we were freed. We were a bit nervous about the unknown because we had never lived free before, but mostly we were so excited to leave our plantation and live our own lives. But we soon began to realize that life after slavery was not at all what we thought it would be. My sister and I traveled for many days up to Connecticut. We decided to get as far away as we could from the evil South. Although we were no longer brutalized, we still had to face prejudice. I will never forget feeling my flushed face after walking past a group of white women. I was so embarrassed, for I knew they were laughing at me. Many laws prevented us from living completely free like the whites. Even in freedom, our passive enslavement affects us every day. Since we were not allowed to get an education or make any money while enslaved, we started out very poor. I began to work at a manual labor job so I could start to make money. We settled with some other freed slaves, friends of ours from our plantation. But even in this new place, living freely, we still suffered as if we were back on that sweltering hot plantation in Georgia. Throughout my life, my sister and I have been starving for food, stricken with fast-spreading illnesses, and faced endless poverty. Even so, we are glad to no longer be property and instead live a life of our own.